Magandang araw mga ka-PTech. Welcome po sa panibagong video po natin para sa ating PTech-led review program. And this will be our session number 23. No? Ito po ay ang ating session number 23. And if you're going to look at our topic, no, para sa araw po na ito, ang focus ng ating session number 23 ay Philosophical and Sociological Foundations of Education. Muli, ako po si Sir Willie, ang inyong lead trainer para po sa ating PTech Training Center Licensure Examination for Teachers Review Program. So let's start. Very quick na discussion sa different items under philosophical foundations and sociological foundations of education. So question number 1 tayo. A teacher believes that students learn best through hands-on experiences and real-world problem solving. Which educational philosophy does this reflect? Lagi nating binabanggit na yung ating discussion, yung ating point is that aside from giving you a point of yung mga contents, but at the same time, we're giving you some hints on how to be able to find the correct answer based on identifying the keywords, no, from the stem of the question. So dito sa ating question number 1, yung mga keywords na nakita natin ay hands-on experiences at saka real-world problem solving. If these are the terms that would define the philosophy of one particular context, then anong tamang sagot? Perennialism, existentialism, progressivism, or essentialism? Correct answer here is, okay, you are correct. It's letter B, progressivism. Okay, you have to take note of those terms. Hands-on experiences and real-world problem solving is progressivism. Question number 2. A teacher strictly follows a curriculum based on classic literature, mathematics, and philosophy, believing that these subjects develop rational thinking. What philosophy is being applied? Essentialism, perennialism, progressivism, or constructivism? Alright, keywords po natin dito, terms like classic literature, math, and philosophy. No. So yan yung focus noong philosophy nito, yung pagtuturo ng ganitong mga subjects ay dinidefine po niya anong philosophy yan. Okay, so you are correct kung ang inyong sagot ay letter B, perennialism. So believing that these are all areas that would last for different ages, no? That would last for yung lifetime ng isang individual. So we call it perennialism. Item number 3, a teacher encourages students to explore their own beliefs and make choices that align with their personal values. Which philosophy is being applied? Behaviorism, existentialism, essentialism, or realism? Once again, yung keywords po natin ay own beliefs and making their own choices. Own beliefs and making their own choices. Okay, keyword natin ay ang mga nabanggit. Is it behaviorism, existentialism, essentialism, or realism? You are correct if your answer is letter B, existentialism. So basically, the very essence of the existence of the individual will have to be related to the individuality of one person by having yung kanyang sariling belief at saka yung ability niya to make own choices that are aligned doon sa kanyang personal values. So the existence of the individual is the very context of this question, and that philosophy is existentialism. Item number 4. Which educational philosophy emphasizes structured learning, basic skills mastery, and teacher-directed instruction? So you can find these keywords there that would emphasize kung anong klaseng philosophy yan. Structured po yung learning, yung basic skills ay nire-require, at saka teacher-directed yung instruction. Medyo may pagka-traditional yung approach nito? Is it essentialism, progressivism, existentialism, or social reconstructionism? Okay, you are correct if your answer is letter A, essentialism. Essentialism refers to the philosophy that caters to what is important, what is significant. No? Like yung pagkakaroon ng basic skills mastery, naniniwala ang philosophy ng essentialism that these are the basic things that you need, a person will be needing in order to succeed. No? So, sa kanyang journey, no? In many different aspects ng kanyang buhay. No? And sabi ko nga kanina, medyo may pagka fundamentalist, no, yung approach, and shall we say traditional, no, with the point of using teacher-directed instruction. Question number 5. A teacher integrates social issues into the classroom and encourages students to take action on societal problems. This best reflects which philosophy? Perennialism, social reconstructionism, idealism, or essentialism. Keywords natin dito ay integration ng social issues and the ability to act, no, on societal problems. Okay. So your answer should be letter B, no, social reconstructionism. There are those who advocated itong social reconstructionism, if I'm not mistaken, one of which is si Paulo Freire, no, na isang kilala doon sa kanyang idea that education should be used not only for the individual to become progressive on his own, but at the same time, in the context of social reconstructionism, education should be used by an individual in order to transform, reconstruct, no, yung kanyang society for the better, no, for the better. So yun yung pinaka-idea niya that in order to provide, no, positively para sa kanyang community, kailangan yung education should be the key or the center of which. Okay? Going to number 6 on sociological principles in teaching and learning. A teacher notices that some students struggle academically due to poverty and lack of resources. Which sociological theory explains the situation? Conflict theory, functionalism, symbolic interactionism, or social constructivism? Okay, keyword, academic struggle that is basically brought about by poverty and the lack of resources. So, anong sociological theory yan? Conflict, functionalism, symbolic interactionism, or social constructivism? Okay, ang tawag po natin dito ay yung tinatawag natin na conflict theory. So, if we're going to look at yung konsepto ng iba't ibang mga sociological theories na yan, it's important na tingnan natin kung anong meaning, no, or ano yung mga essence, no, nitong si conflict theory in sociology or as part ng sociological foundations ng education. So itong si conflict theory, sinasabi niya that it's a kind of perspective that views society as a competition for resource and power among groups with unequal resources. No, it basically emphasizes social change and inequality rather than stability and conformity. Okay, so nakikita natin dito yung essence yan, bakit nagkakaroon ng tinatawag natin na mga lack of resources, yung poverty. It's because ito ay emanating from the idea that ang society daw ay isang malaking competition, no, ng mga resources, at kung yung isang grupo ay napag-iwanan na ng mga resources na iyan, it might lead to poverty and thereby explaining, no, yung pagkakaroon ng struggle in terms of the academic performance ng mga estudyante who are belonging to that particular group. Okay? We go into item number 7. A teacher incorporates local traditions, values, and practices in classroom activities. This approach is based on which sociological concept? Socialization, cultural relativism, ethnocentrism, or social mobility. Ang keywords natin dito, yung incorporation ng local traditions and values. So if that would be the point of discussion for number 7, you are correct if your answer is cultural relativism. Ano ba ibig sabihin itong cultural relativism? At ito ay how do you call that? Being integrated in the different classroom activities. No? Pag sinabi natin na cultural relativism, ito ay may kinalaman sa pagkakaroon ng multiple cultural aspects that are existing within a certain society. No? So pag sinabi natin na cultural relativism, different cultures have different values and practices that this should be understood within that culture's context. No? It is encourages people to be tolerant and accepting of the culture. So basically, if we're going to introduce cultural relativism within the classroom, we are actually advocating the idea that our students should learn that different people come from different yung backgrounds, no? Yung pagkakaroon nila ng magkakaibang background in order to have a good camaraderie within the group. Individuals should understand that they are coming from different families, different backgrounds, different cultures. Okay? So, yun yung punto nitong tinatawag natin na cultural relativism. The reason why we need to study yung mga local traditions, values, and practices in the classroom. So, what may be a kind of taboo in one particular culture might be a normal occurrence in different cultures, and we need to understand that in order for us to dahil nga sabi nga natin hindi po pwedeng kung ano lang yung nagiging practice natin in one particular culture at yun ang kinalakihan natin na culture ay magiging point of ano tawag natin dito magiging point of kumbaga diversion or instead of unification nagkakaroon ng diversion at hindi nagkakaroon ng magandang camaraderie within the community or within the group. Next, number 8, a school implements strict dress code and discipline policy to maintain order. This practice aligns with the sociological perspective of A, symbolic interactionism, functionalism, conflict theory, or existentialism. So, anin ang keywords natin dito? Discipline, policy that maintains order. So, you are correct if the answer is functionalism. So, pag sinabi natin na functionalism, ano kaya ang implication na ito? Functionalism theory. It's a kind of sociological theory that views society as a complex system of interrelated parts that work together to maintain stability and solidarity. And how are we going to attain stability and solidarity despite the complexity of the different individuals belonging to that particular society? Kailangan natin ng pagkakaroon ng implementation ng discipline and be able to maintain that order. It's based on the idea that all aspects of the society have a purpose and are necessary for society's survival. Okay? So, yan po ang mga keywords natin for number 8. At ang correct answer natin dito ay letter B, functionalism. Number 9, a teacher uses group work and collaborative activities believing that students learn best through social interaction. Which learning theory supports this practice? A, constructivism, B, behaviorism, C, perennialism, or D, realism. Keywords natin dito, social interaction. Okay? So, yung social interaction na yon ay nakikita natin inside the classroom in the form of group work, collaborative activities. So, if that would be the keywords, alin ang tamang sagot? Constructivism ba, behaviorism, perennialism, or realism? Okay, of course, ang correct answer natin dito ay constructivism. So ano naman ang sinasabi ng constructivism approach? No? Constructivism. So pag sinabi natin na constructivist theory, it is a theory that suggests that knowledge is constructed through social interactions and cultural expectations. Alright? Ulitin natin yung keywords natin doon. Constructed, knowledge is constructed through social interactions and cultural expectations. So from the keywords na nabanggit natin dito, yung social interaction, basically that's the keyword na nakita natin kanina, kaya ang tamang sagot po ay letter A, constructivism. We go to number 10. The teacher notices that some students have different learning expectations based on their socio-economic background. This observation is best explained by cultural capital theory, essentialism, structural functionalism, or behaviorism. Okay, keywords, yung different learning expectations na nanggagaling sa socio-economic background ng ng isang individual. So is it cultural capital, essentialism, structural functionalism, or behaviorism? You are correct if your answer is cultural capital theory. So ano yung ibig sabihin ng cultural capital theory? So pag sinabi natin na cultural capital theory or the CCT, it's a kind of framework that explains how people perceive themselves and others. No? It also explains how cultural competence influences how people view society, social relationships, and success. Alright? So, yun yung cultural capital. No? So, yung keyword natin dito, yung that would be able to explain how people perceive themselves. No? Hindi lang yung sarili nila, but how people perceive others. So kung babalikan natin yung ating idea, yung keywords na nabanggit natin dito, ay yung learning expectations no ng mga individuals na yan. At ito ay nagagaling doon sa kanilang socio-economic background. So if a certain facilitator, learning facilitator, a teacher, will be able to identify yung socio-economic background ng isang individual, then marirealize niya na ang iba't ibang mga individuals na ito ay meron silang mga iba't iba din na learning expectations. No? And by acknowledging that, ibig sabihin, the teacher is also using the concept of the cultural capital theory. No? Yan po yung meaning na. 11. A teacher integrates moral and civic education to prepare students to be responsible citizens. This aligns with the function of education, which is economic function, political socialization, social control, or cultural transmission. Okay. Integration of moral and civic education in order for the individual or the learner to become responsible citizens. Correct answer is political socialization. So, as a civic-minded individual, kailangan na magkaroon ng ganitong klase ng training in order to develop responsible citizens. Individuals or citizens that are able to understand yung political concept, the implication of political the politics in shaping the society. So napakalaking bagay niyan na maging aware ang mga individuals in terms of the civic issues, social issues surrounding yung political landscape within a given area, or shall we say a community. Okay? So napaka-importante nito, and if that would be the center of how the teacher is able to develop learning among the learners, then ang konsepto po na yan ay makikita natin na parte ng function ng education, which is political socialization. Okay? In order to become a well-rounded individual, kailangan nating magkaroon ng ganitong aspeto ng development. Otherwise, we cannot be able to develop individuals who are really responsible citizens in many different sorts. Which of the following best describes the role of education in promoting social mobility? Keyword natin dito is social mobility. Ensures that people remain the same social class as their parents. It provides equal opportunities for individuals to improve the social status. It reinforces existing social inequalities, or it limits career opportunities. Okay, very obvious, ano? Makikita natin dyan yung term na social mobility. It's the ability to move into the different social classes, okay? And that would be happening if we make use of the education properly. So the correct answer is letter B. No, it provides equal opportunities for individuals to improve their social status. Naniniwala tayo that education is the primary key for the improvement, not only in terms of the economic status of a certain individual, but also in terms of the overall social improvement, no, ng isang community. Napaka-importante ng education because it would allow the citizens to become more aware, more functional, and more knowledgeable. Item 13, a school curriculum includes indigenous knowledge and local history to promote cultural identity. This practice is an example of cultural assimilation, multicultural education, social Darwinism, standardized education. Our correct answer here is integration or inclusion of indigenous knowledge and local history. So you are correct if your answer is letter D, no, multicultural education. Ang multicultural education na binabanggit natin dito is not only in terms of yung cultural assimilation, no, but multicultural education refers to the understanding of one's local history and be able to promote yung cultural identity. But more than that is that being able to understand as well, no, the different cultures of or backgrounds, no, of the individuals belonging to the same locality or a certain community. Okay? Kaya nga multicultural education ang tamang sagot for number 13. 14, a teacher encourages open discussions and debates on gender equality and human rights. This practice promotes social stratification, cultural hegemony, critical pedagogy, or classical conditioning. Open discussion and debates on gender equality and human rights. So, alin yung pinupunto natin dito? Is it social stratification, cultural hegemony, critical pedagogy, or classical conditioning? Obviously, ang sagot natin dito ay letter C, tinatawag natin na critical pedagogy. Critical pedagogy. Ano ba yung hindi po yan social stratification, but it's more on critical pedagogy. So merong discussion dito, no, may kinalaman dito sa critical pedagogy. Yung sinasabing critical pedagogy is a teaching and learning theory that aims to transform oppressive social structures, and it's based on critical theory and the idea that teaching and learning are political acts. Okay, so yung pag-discuss ng gender equality and human rights are considered to be under critical pedagogy, considering that it discusses yung mga oppressive na klase ng social structures. No? So the gender could be a form of layering within the society and might affect, no, yung implementation ng ating human rights recognition. Okay? That's number 14, and we go to number 15. Which of the following best demonstrates the latent function of education? Okay, so latent function of education: teaching students academic knowledge, providing childcare for working parents, preparing students for the workforce, implementing strict discipline policies. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng latent function? So, let's try to define clearly yung latent function of education. So, these are the unintended or less obvious results of the education. Kaya nga, latent. No? So, from the word itself, from the term latent function itself, alin ba yung isa dito na unintended or less obvious result of education? Okay? Kung titignan natin, the correct answer is letter B, no? Providing childcare for working parents. No? Yan yung unintended. Balikan natin yung ating mga choices. Pag sinabi natin na we teach students academic knowledge and skills, that's really the exact, no? The main function. No? Pag sinabi natin na preparing students for the workforce, ganun din because the learners are there in order to be provided with the necessary skills as they join later on yung workforce, and at the same time yung implementation ng strict discipline policies, kasama yan talaga sa training nila. So yung unintended dito ay yung nagkakaroon ng provision ng childcare for working parents. So as the learners are within the school, at the same time, parents are given the opportunity to work, continuously working dahil ang school ang nagbibigay ng childcare para sa kanila. Okay, number 15 is letter B. 16, a teacher assigns leadership roles to both male and female students to promote gender equality. This approach is based on which sociological principle? Promoting gender equality. Okay, so na parang very obvious yata itong sagot natin dito. Social reconstructivism ba, conflict theory, functionalism, or gender sensitivity? Yan. Siyempre, if we acknowledge the differences between the male and the female and being able to respect, and without gender bias, ay nakikita natin yung beauty of both the sexes, then ang tawag natin dito ay gender sensitivity. In the DepEd, very yung gender and development policies that are supposed to be strictly implemented as well. 17, a school actively promotes inclusion by providing resources and support for students with disabilities. Anong tawag natin dito? Anong application yan? Equal educational opportunities, social exclusion, meritocracy, or structural functionalism. Obviously, ang sagot natin dito ay letter A, equal educational opportunities. Okay? So in the equal educational opportunities, we talk about yung removal of any kind or any forms of discrimination that would favor one group or one particular segment of the society. So pag nilagyan natin yung equal educational opportunities, we are giving everybody the opportunity to be at school and be given proper educational training ng ating society. 18, a teacher organizes community service projects to instill values of cooperation and social responsibility in students. This practice aligns with behaviorism, experiential learning, social learning theory, or symbolic interactionism. Ang keyword mo dyan, yung value ng cooperation and social responsibility. Okay, so value of cooperation, community service, and social responsibility. You are correct if your answer is social learning theory. All of these are related to the concept of social learning theory. 19, which of the following best describes the impact of hidden curriculum in schools? A, it refers to lessons explicitly stated. It consists of unspoken social norms and expectations. It only applies to extracurricular activities, or it focuses only on the academic subjects. Ano ba yung impact ng pagkakaroon ng hidden curriculum? So, term ito, tinatawag natin na hidden curriculum, but may implication yan. You are correct if your answer is letter B. It consists of unspoken social norms, values, and expectations that shape students' behavior. You have to take note that yes, there is an explicit statement of the curriculum, meaning the kind of knowledge or behaviors or the competencies that all learners should learn, no? Based on the curriculum. Meron tayong hidden curriculum, and this refers to those that are not directly stated, no? But in the course of training, in the course of education, this part of the curriculum, which is the hidden curriculum, are being carried out and are being imbibed or learned by individuals. Okay. And finally, item number 20, a teacher includes local and global issues in classroom discussions to develop students' critical thinking and awareness of societal problems. This reflects progressivism, existentialism, social reconstructionism, and essentialism. Global issues, critical thinking, and awareness of societal problems. These are all related to letter C, social reconstructionism, as we have already discussed kanina. All right? So with that, that's our 20 item material, and I hope na we were able to share with you important concepts related to foundations, philosophical and sociological foundations of education. Please like, share, and subscribe na din tayo para sa mas marami pang videos that will be provided to all of you as you prepare for the licensure examination for teachers. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat mga kapitik na nanood, and see you all sa susunod po natin na video. Maraming salamat!